I'm Allison Rosenthal. I'm a native New Yorker, but I've lived in Los Angeles for the last 26 years. I'm a friend, a wife, a mother. I'm an ally, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, and I'm a proud Jewish woman. I was born and raised in New York. I grew up on Long Island. It was a small immediate family, but we were a part of a much larger Jewish community. Being Jewish is a really big part of who I am. It's sort of just in my DNA. My mother was always an ally, and I guess it just sort of permeated the air I breathed. And actually, when I told my father that two of my kids were gay, I didn't know what the reaction would be. And he said, "Oh, as long as they're happy and healthy." And that was so beautiful to hear because I didn't really know what to expect from a man of his generation. My oldest daughter came out when she was 18, right before she left for college. My middle child came out at their 16th birthday, and we actually turned to our younger daughter and said, "Do you have anything to tell us?" And she was like, "No, I'm pretty sure I'm straight." During the pandemic, when everyone moved back home, our middle child came out as non-binary. We like to say we're a super queer family. I first got involved in JQ when my middle child came out. They were feeling like they didn't have a community. They felt sort of alone, and someone recommended JQ's teen program. And I really loved the work that was being done. You can be Jewish, you can be queer, and you don't have to give up anything for either of those identities. In Los Angeles, we live in a little bit of a bubble of acceptance. In the rest of the world, there's still a lot of hate, there's still a lot of misinformation, and I think there are people who can't open their minds to see past themselves and their beliefs. So it can be really scary sending your child out into the world not knowing what they're going to encounter and who they're going to encounter. I so strongly believe in the work that JQ does, and I think it's so important to support JQ with your time, with your dollars, because they fill a space in our community that's very needed. Whether you have an LGBTQ person in your life, whether you don't know whether you do, JQ is a resource that's available to us and needs to be supported. If a parent came to me saying their child just came out, what should I do? What should I know? I think my first thought would be, your child is your child. Their heart, their soul, their being is the same child you've loved this whole time. Who they're going to eventually fall in love with, how they're going to identify themselves gender-wise, doesn't change the heart and soul of who that human being is. And I think it's very important to have a really big Jewish tent and to be as welcoming as possible to anyone who might feel like they're an outsider or because of some aspect of who they are makes them an outsider. And JQ existing shows the world that you belong. You know, in our Jewish community, there is a place for everyone. I imagine 20 years ago when Asher started JQ, there was oh. And now it's sort of nonplussed. Why, of course there's JQ. Why wouldn't there be JQ?